Hey everybody, it's Ben and Beta, and we have finally made it to the new house. All of my stuff is still yet to arrive, so I need a few things to do on the weekend, and I'm in the garage. I have a couple projects I want to do, and you might be able to tell right now what one of those is. It's super dark in here. I do have a window in the garage, which is pretty nice, but you can kind of see it's nice and tall. It's about 13 feet tall and around like 22 by 22, something like that. So pretty nice big garage, but we'll add a little bit of light in here. Got a little bit of a snowstorm going on out there today. Truck is parked inside, and luckily I've already met the neighbors and they had a nice big ladder because I don't have that. So one of my first projects is gonna be to try to make it a little bit brighter in here. I'm also gonna do another project, and that is I wanna install this wall mount garage door opener. And I wanna put this, I think, over here on this side. I've always kind of wanted a wall-mounted garage door opener, and it really pays off here because I can then store a bunch of stuff up here. Basically, I'll be able to back the truck in here and be able to pull my tent up right up to the ceiling, which will be really nice. So I'm kind of looking forward to being able to use all that storage up there and do some stuff up here. Lots of different space, which is pretty cool. One thing I'm really curious about in the comments though are what are the major garage updates you have done that you have found to be game-changing, the biggest things, the biggest bang for your buck. I have a couple of other ideas I want to do. I'm definitely putting some water out here, so that's going to happen here not too long from now, so I can wash my vehicle in the garage if I want. It's pretty cold in the garage, so there's some things that need to get done there to make it a little bit warmer in here. We may put some heat and AC in here eventually, and I'm probably going to also insulate the garage door some too, just because I know that that's going to be really, really helpful in the long run. But today, basically lights and hopefully the garage door opener are what we're gonna be doing. We'll see how it all goes. But again, I really wanna know in the comments from you guys what you think were the biggest and best updates you had in your garage. So anyway, just a quick, here's what it looks like before I put these lights up. I get a little bit nervous on ladders, so we'll see how this goes for me today. I wish I were a little bit taller. I wish I were a baller. Definitely don't want to go any higher than this. I bet if I move just a hair closer, I'll be a little bit taller. I think putting the new lights in is gonna be easier. I'll show you what those are in a minute. All right, so what I'm gonna replace these with, which is kind of interesting, is these lights here that I found on Amazon before, and they work really, really well. I'll leave a link in the description to these. But these are super bright LEDs. This one's, I think, 200 watts, if I remember correctly. And they're adjustable, so you can adjust them down or whatnot. But cool thing is I think these are a little bit bigger, so this should make it easier to go in. So it's kind of like a big spider. But basically, this is what they look like before you install them. But they just basically go into a regular like A19 light, which is awesome. But you can see how much bigger this is gonna be. This is gonna be ridiculously bright. Hopefully I don't fall off the ladder because it's so bright. But let's see how this goes. I'm gonna try to put it in the configuration I want ahead of time. This is apparently an 8-foot ladder. I'm thinking a 9-foot ladder is kind of where I'd wanna be. All right, it's in. And that is a major difference in the brightness levels of the garage, I would say. So you can kind of see what we were dealing with there. So now I can be out here working and kind of see what's going on. And I have 2 lights out here in my garage. In Colorado Springs, we only had 1. So this is nice to have the 2 lights. I will have to move the truck in order to put the other one in, but that wasn't too bad. I was able to get up on my tiptoes and get there. So I'm thinking for me, this is an 8-foot ladder. I think a 9-foot or a 10-foot ladder would be perfect. That's probably what I'm gonna end up buying at some point here, so I can get to these lights and whatnot that I need to do. I was a little nervous on my tiptoes, but it made it work. It wasn't too bad. That's what it looks like, all installed. The next thing I'm gonna wanna install though is this garage door opener, and I'm gonna take a look at everything here and see kind of what's going on with that. Generally, so if you're not really familiar with wall mounted systems, basically it replaces this overhead door. All this stuff is gonna be able to come down eventually. All right, so I got both the lights in, so we're gonna check those out here in a second. You kind of got to see the difference between the two with just one in. We'll show you both of them. I'll even shut the shade over there. So let's take a look at what those lights look like when they're both on. And you can see kind of how much light's in here with this being open. So I'm gonna go ahead and close these up. All right, so during the day, with the blinds closed, that's what it looks like. And now we'll turn the lights on quick. I think we're gonna find a roux right here. Nope. All right. So to me, that's a pretty darn big difference, and it should be pretty easy to work in here. So I really like these lights. If you're looking for something that just fits in a regular light bulb socket, and you really need a lot of light in your garage, or you just wanna up the game of the light in your garage, these types of lights are amazing. They are directional too, so you can move them around a little bit. On the ladder that I borrowed, I was really barely able to get those into the socket, so I couldn't adjust them yet. When I get a different ladder and get up there, I will maybe try that and just see, how that works. But I actually kind of like the way they are now, because they're kind of giving quite a bit of light to most of the garage. Now, one thing that didn't get done was, you can see that the garage door opener isn't over here. It's still mounted up behind me here. And the reason for that is all my stuff still hasn't been delivered, and apparently my metric wrenches don't work with this system. I need the SAE, and I need a different drill bit that I don't have. So I actually have a handyman coming over to fix a couple of other things. I'm either gonna have him install it, or I'm gonna kind of help him install it. I think it'll just go quicker and smoother if there's two of us, plus he's a handyman. He's got all the tools that he needs and ladders and things like that. And I still just don't have my stuff yet. And I do want to get that in before the movers get here if I can. But I did want to show you a few different things with this system. One of the big deals that's different about these side mounted garage door openers is they come with this thing right here. And what this does is, see if I can get this to work here. So this actually has like a little actuator in it. So what that actuator does is it puts this bolt through your door, so you cannot raise the garage door past that point. And basically that just makes it so people can't break into your garage by just disconnecting a wire and lifting it up. So that part's kind of cool, and I am looking forward to that. Other than that, a couple other things that it comes with is this switch that kind of senses when somebody's there to turn on a light, which is kind of cool. You can also automatically have it close your garage door after 1, 5, or 10 minutes, and there's a hold open button if you want to leave it open. If you're worried about forgetting leaving it open, you can do that, and you don't want to hook it up to Wi-Fi, you can do that, which is pretty cool. It is Wi-Fi capable with the MyQ system, so I'll be able to monitor when it's open, or open it for people as well when I'm not around. And that one's a big one for me because I always feel anxiety when I've left. I'm like, did I close the garage door or didn't I? And we had a camera system in order to control that in our last place, but this will be just as good. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. They're also quieter, or they're supposed to be, so we're gonna find out just like what that difference is. So I'm sitting here talking, and you can see just talking that I'm in that like 65 to 75 range for decibels. And this is what it's like when it's completely quiet inside the garage. So just under 30 decibels. Let's see what it is when we open the garage door. So here we go. So about that 65 mark, kind of similar to when I'm talking. Let's close it again and see how it goes. And once it's installed, we'll do that test again just to see if it is actually quieter or not. It is supposed to be quite a bit quieter. And the main reason is that it doesn't have a chain in it, and the chain's really what's kind of loud. The new system will actually just be grabbing on, for those of you again who are not clear how the system works, your normal garage door has this chain, and the chain works everything from there, grabs onto the garage and brings it up. You have this torsion bar here, which provides a lot of the lift power for turning that rod up there. What this system's gonna do is it's actually gonna hook right onto the end of this bar and just turn the bar. That's why it's quieter. You won't have all that chain noise basically. And then when I get a chance, I will clean up all this stuff once this is down. But I'm gonna sell this unit. I'm sure somebody might want it. It looks like it is MyQ capable as well. I haven't tried to connect to it or anything like that, but apparently it is capable. And it looks like they didn't have a light in it, but that's all right. Anyway, that's a quick update on that part. So remember that these videos do take a lot of time and effort. So please hit that like button if you found this at all helpful. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. That's really helpful as well. Share this out with anybody who's interested in doing some stuff in their garage. And if you use any of the links that I have provided, that is a benefit to my channel, and I really, really appreciate that as well, but it does not cost you any more money if you use one of those links. Sometimes you even save money if you use one of my codes. Anyway, let's see what happens when the handyman gets here. All right, so the first few upgrades for the garage are complete, and we did get the new garage door opener installed. I need to take this off from the old one yet, but the new one is installed. And there it is in the corner. Also, the lighting obviously has been upgraded. Still a little bit darker up that way, but I now have space above the garage door where I could add some more lighting up there pretty easily if I want. I'm also planning to put my tent up here somewhere too, so I have to kind of figure out where that's gonna go. But I also have lights that I can put up in the front of the garage if I need to give more light from Devos. The Light Rangers are pretty good for that. We'll do a sound test here in a minute, but this is kind of how this operates. Here we go. So it's overall quite quiet, which is nice. And then a couple other advantages of what the system offers. This is where this is gonna lock when it comes back down. So right now it's unlocked. And if we go ahead and close it, you can see now the bolt is locked, and if somebody tried to lift this, they wouldn't be able to. Also, this system comes with a light, and that switch up there has a motion sensor in it, so when you walk out into the garage, this light will come on. So that's kind of nice too, so it gives a little bit of extra light over here, kind of more in a working area that this will end up being in the future once things get kind of organized and the tent's back on the truck and whatnot. You can see that everything's been moved in at this point, so the tent is down for now until we can get up on the truck, but eventually I do want to be able to mount it up in the ceiling here someplace. And then another thing that's happened is we did get a hose bib put in out here, so I can now have water in the garage itself. For whatever reason, the previous owners decided they wanted to tap into this outlet right here to power a light that's outside. That's not really how things should be done, so I'm gonna have that removed at some point. This should be okay, it is GFI, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal there. Future state, I think I'm gonna have some power put over here towards the front of the garage. So I'm gonna have one outlet put here. Obviously I don't wanna keep the garage door connected via this extension, so I wanna put some power up there too. So that's something that'll happen in the future. A couple other things on installation on this. We did have a handyman out and they did take care of that. There were two of them, so they went through and installed all this for me, which was great. And it happened in about an hour or so, so that was nice. They did a nice job. They've never installed one like this before, but it all went pretty easy and it seems to work really well. And that's really all that matters at this point, so I was pretty happy with that. One thing that did happen with the system when I tried to set it up the first time was, and this was something that's apparently true of a lot of Chamberlain garage doors, you actually have to set the travel on them both up and down first before you can connect everything and actually operate the garage door. And they didn't know that or didn't read that in the instructions. So they left with it not working, but then I figured that out afterwards. So you do have to set the travel and then let it do a test, open and close, just to make sure everything's working properly. So if you have that problem when you install a garage door opener like this, or if you have a Chamberlain and you've installed it, you think it should work, don't forget you have to set the travel first. And if you read the directions, it's pretty easy. There are some buttons on the inside of here that you use to do that. Pretty simple, honestly, overall. One thing that's different about this system too is it doesn't actually connect to anything on the outside of the garage at all. It's all Wi-Fi, so that's something to keep in mind. But it does have a battery backup if you do end up losing power or something like that. So that's another nice feature of this system, is there's a battery backup that's built into it, and will keep the unit running even if power goes out to the house, which is pretty cool. So those are some of the kind of cool features of all that, but let's do a quick sound test on it and just see how loud it is. And I'm gonna try to do it from the same place I was doing it last time as well, which was from right here. All right, so again, I'm not talking around like 25 or 30 decibels. And if we push the button, the garage door open, this is how loud it is. About 15 decibels louder with the garage door opener. And we'll go ahead and close it. And then the other feature of this one, I'm sure others have it too, but you might have noticed another feature is it's kind of got a soft open, soft close. So it starts slow and ends slow, which is kind of cool too. That's kind of the first in the home improvement series of this home and kind of what we're doing with it and what I'm doing with it in my garage. I'm still interested what you all think I should do inside of here. I'm thinking of doing some kind of waterproofing to at least part of the walls so I could wash my vehicle in here if I wanted to and not have to worry about it too much, even with a pressure washer. I obviously need some more storage and things. We've got some cabinets up here, but I'm not really sure what I all want to do with that. So a lot of my tools and things right now are in the basement, which is also fine because it gives me more space to work in out here. I'll definitely want some kind of workspace out here, just don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet. Leave some comments below on what you love in your garage and you would definitely do if you had to redo one in the future. So this video is kind of part of a homeowner's home improvement series that I'm going to be doing. Obviously we have a lot to do in the house as time goes on, and as we make updates and changes to the house, I want to kind of talk about some of those things and why we make those choices and just try to help get some information out there for you to make decisions if you need some home improvements and are looking for some of these same upgrades as well. I'm really happy with the side mounted garage door. Again, that is just a ton of space that we have up here now to store stuff, and I'm glad to have the water out here as well. So a couple of big things, but these lights are probably the biggest upgrade. You know, the garage door is great and all that kind of stuff, but the lights are probably the biggest upgrade in here. It's so much brighter in here than before, and that's even with having the blinds closed. And if I open them up, you know, we get a pretty good amount of light in here. But there's lots of possibilities in here and I'm really excited about it. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in home improvement stuff, overlanding, detailing, all those types of things. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, live your life in beta, which if you're not sure what that means, living your life in beta is all about trying new things. That's what it is about. So live your life in beta, give something new a try, see how it works out, and share your results with other people. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.